I think he's a dumbass. He's a bigger dumbass than Jim.
And then, all right, and then Jim, your turn, and I'm gonna ask Jace whenever. Anyway, I'm gonna pull up. Jace, you're on the air. What is up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's good to be here, brother. Yeah, I was listening in on this whole situation, this Pokemon guy. Weirdo.
What did you take on that weirdo?
Oh my God, this guy, like, you're representing Nintendo, and I've had my beef with Nintendo, but you're repping Nintendo. If you've got anything egregious that they don't want you on there for, they're not going to give you what you think you're going to get. Like, this guy is out of his mind. He thinks that he's entitled to it. It's the most entitled baby BS that I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, okay, they told you no, get over it. Get over it. Find something else to do. It's not like they took your games away. Like, what's he mad at?
Yeah, it's not like they told him, oh, you can't play Pokemon ever again. You can't do private events in your own house with it. You can't work for us because it's a liability for them.
Dude, like last year, I applied to like a thing for like Square Enix to like, if you're a creator to test out their games. They said no. Doesn't mean I can't play their games. I'm over it. Whatever. I just figured I'll shoot my shot. I'm not even surprised by it. With my big mouth and the crazy shit that I say on stream, yeah, they were probably going to say no. No big deal.
Exactly. Like, no big deal. In fact, there are a lot of jobs that reject me, probably just because, I'm autistic. But at the same time, it's like I'm not going to complain and sue them, because at the end of the day, it's like, people sometimes they're going to reject you. Some stuff's going to reject you, and especially, which I have no felonies. That's another thing. I don't have felonies, and I'm not even complaining about being rejected like this guy. It's like, you have a felony. It makes it harder, and especially if it's like, because that's the thing, we don't know what the felony is, but I assume it's probably something like battery, assault, something on that regard. And even like probably shoplifting, but who knows? Maybe it's like further. Maybe because he never told us what the felony is. Maybe it's something to do with like, sexual harassment or some shit. Yeah.
Well, the other thing with that is that in a way, like, let's say a company tells you no like that, like Nintendo, and you're like a creator or whatever in that space. You still have a level of honesty by not being employed by them that you would lose if you were employed by them. So you got to look at like the silver lining of that. If you sit there and fucking whine and complain about it, it's not doing you any good. He's just putting bad energy out there. And like you said, it's going to cause people to ask questions. Why are you so mad about this? Why are you so pushy about this? Why are you suing them over this? It seems really, really heavy-handed.
It is really heavy-handed with that whole, and not only that, but he has 75 of these lawsuits, and not all like stupid reasons, like GameStop overpriced the games, Nintendo overpriced the games.
Oh my God!
It's like it's stupid after stupid after stupid after stupidity. It's just stupidity after stupidity.
For a guy who's a grown-ass man, he doesn't know how to bargain hunt. Look, if a game is too expensive somewhere, you check online, you go on Amazon, you go on eBay, you go on all these different places, you go to pawn shops, and you find somewhere where you can get a bargain. You don't just, it's their fault. They have to sell it to me for cheap. That's not how it works. That's not how the world works.
Exactly. That's not how the world works at all. So, Torn, what was you going to say?
He also was going after a lot of sheriff departments and police departments and other municipal facilities, suing them for stuff related to his criminal charges.
Oh my God, this guy's lawyer must be, he must have a lot of money, and his lawyer must be hosing him.
His lawyer is him.
Oh, he's his own attorney. Holy shit.
Yeah, we found out from one of the court documents that was shown earlier in the video that it was literally him defending himself.
Holy fuck.
He's doing all 75 lawsuits by himself. It's like, bro, this guy
clearly has researched into legal jargons, because a lot of the stuff he says actually has like a ton of legal jargon in it. So he clearly knows some of the shit there, but just because you know the jargon doesn't mean you know the game,
Yeah, and it's still a rhetoric thing, and this is just something with court cases that if you try to represent yourself, even if you know what you're talking about, you're probably going to lose. It's just how that goes. It's just the way that system is set up.
Yep, they say he who defends himself has a lawyer for a fool.
Yeah,
exactly. That's true.
That's why it's like you definitely need a lawyer, but you definitely need to know what you're doing.
For a fool or a lawyer, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's clear that this guy, that this idiot has no idea what he's doing whatsoever. That he just is clueless. And what he thinks he can go in and make all this money and grift all these people. It's like, bro, you're not grifting all these people, man.
Exactly.
Like, you really think you're grifting all these people? It's like, bro, you really think you're going to win all 75 lawsuits and just be a billionaire from this? No, in fact, I think he should be jailed for fraud for doing that, because he's basically exploiting. Yeah, that may happen, and I actually would side with the feds on this one, because you're literally exploiting the legal system, literally. Like people have had their bank accounts taken down for less. In fact, people have just been having their bank accounts frozen for free speech, like Nick Fuentes and stuff like that. It's like, that's the thing. Like, people have had it done less, so it's like you're going to literally lose because you're trying to commit fraud, bro.
You're wasting the court's time, and the judges aren't going to take that very lightly.
So before we get into the Thomas Massey conversation, because there's a lot we could say about that from both sides on that, because we both wanted him to win, and we feel like it's a big betrayal for MAGA that they picked that guy. But before I do that, Jim, what is your final perspective on the whole Kyle Owens lawsuit?
He's a complete dumbass, and they say a fool. What was the saying? Only a fool is his own lawyer, or something like that.
Yeah, basically what Torrance said. Yeah, only a fool is his own lawyer. Basically, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at all with this whole lawsuit thing at all. So now I'm going to get into the whole Thomas Massey thing. So what was your first reaction when you found out that he ended up sadly losing the election?
I thought it was a shock to me because of the fact that you saw sort of how the day developed, where even Trump came onto Twitter X, which he doesn't normally do, to yell about it, which everybody sort of was like, well, this is getting ridiculous. You know that going into it, there was a lot of money spent in that campaign. But I think the part that got me is, one, first of all, it happened very quickly. Like, I thought they'd be counting a little bit longer than they were. It was like within an hour, they already knew the result. And then secondly, and what bothered me is sort of watching how the right acts about this whole thing. For whatever reason, they hit their own side harder than they hit the left. That's sort of the reason why I've been, disenchanted with the right, aside from all the Israel simping and everything else. And it's just a bad overall look. I think one of the things that people need to understand, whether they agree with everything Massey had to say or not, was that if he had won, then other people in the House who look at, legislation and go, this is a bad idea, Mr. President, with all due respect, this is not a good idea. Now they can't do that because they have to worry about the fact that if they disagree with Trump on anything, get out. You're not really MAGA. You were never MAGA. Get out of here. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, because that's all he fucking does now. Like, he's like a baby with a fucking Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Like, that's his excuse for everything. It's ridiculous. Everything has been mishandled. It's horrible to see it. And now you've even got, now that he's lost, that Loomer is saying, oh, well, we need to have Mike Johnson pass a thing where Massey is stripped of all power. And we've never done that in this country before. When someone has lost a primary, is strip them of their remaining power for the remaining time they are in office. That's just unconstitutional. That's illegal, and that's one of the big problems. Is you have these people that are supposedly on MAGA cheering like, "Yay, yay, we got a scalp," but that scalp was on your side. He just didn't agree with you on a bunch of shit. He voted with conservatives 90% of the fucking time.
Yeah,
whose
exactly.
scalp are you getting? Doesn't make sense. It's like clown world, and these are people who, again, 2 years ago, just like Trump, were endorsing Massey. They were singing his praises.
Yeah, that's my whole thing about it's like before Thomas Massey had his fallout with Israel and Trump over the Epstein thing, all these conservators were kissing Massey's ass, endorsing him. He won his districts with like 80% of the vote every single time, and it's like now it's like. Just because,
back, by the way.
Did you have? All right.
Yeah, I was swapping games because I'm done eating now.
All right. Anyways, it's like that's the thing. You had all of them agree with Thomas Massey, but as soon as he speaks out about only two issues, is no foreign aid to Israel and release all the Epstein files with no redactions. That's when all of a sudden everyone's trying to get rid of him. It's like, what is this? All these slander attacks?
Yeah, it's suspect. It's suspect. I mean, Trump himself loved Massey before all of this happened. So
He
it's
did.
strange to me. It's strange to me. And one of the things that I think is one of the worst things about this is that, again, you're seeing this sort of weird pivot from MAGA. He disagrees with them on one or two things, right? That sounds familiar. That sounds like J.K. Rowling with the left, with the whole trans bathroom thing, right? She's a leftist in terms of everything else she agrees, except for this one issue, and they kicked her out. And so to me, that says, is MAGA now becoming just like the thing they hate? Are they becoming just like that opposite side of the spectrum where there can be no disagreement? Because if there's no disagreement with anybody under any circumstances, it doesn't matter right or left. That is a problem. We need to be able to have honest conversations about issues. It doesn't need to be about right or left or anything else. If you just can't just simply disagree, then something's gone horribly wrong in this country, in our system, in our world. And that was my issue, was Miriam Adelson putting money into the primary. And it's the most expensive House primary in U.S. history. And to me, it's like, it's either all bad or none of it's bad. You can't make a pass for Miriam Adelson doing that and then continue to be mad about George Soros doing the same thing, because all she is now the right-wing version of George Soros. They're both doing the same thing. It's wrong regardless of who does it.
Exactly. And I've had people on Twitter say, oh, China does it all the time. It's like, yeah, I disagree with that too. It's like, come on, like, we disagree with any foreign country doing it. And I feel like it's treason.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like these people need to be arrested for fucking treason, because if you take money from a foreign lobby, or even a lobby that basically represents a foreign lobby over our own lobbies, then it's just like, no, you should be jailed for treason, because you're not representing American interests. You're only representing foreign interests, and that's treason, because that's the thing. These people do it just so that they can weaken our country and stricken their own country.
Exactly, and that's the big problem that I have. I want more people in Congress to say, you know what, I'm not standing with Israel. I'm not. Look, when Biden was in charge, I didn't like the fact that our government was giving so much money and aid to the Ukraine. Why would I now that the Republicans are in office, say, okay, let's give all our money and aid to Israel? To me, it's the same thing. They're the same animal. It's the same problem. America first is not a catchphrase to me. America first is literally, you've got people here, you've got homeless dying in the street. We want to send more people to die for Israel, and we don't take care of our veterans that are homeless now. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. And not only that, but I'm going to pull this up too. Ed Gatling, just not even from the Maida Elbison, Trump, like all that combined with AIPAC's is like 32 million. But AIPAC alone has given Ed Gatling $15 million. That's a foreign lobby giving a candidate $15 million. In fact, I'm gonna switch the game from the gameplay from the second, but Torrin, I'll briefly bring it back up.
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
Oh wait, I didn't even bring it up. I was so focused on Twitter. But yeah, that's the thing. Ed Gallery right here, $15 million from the AIPAC. Literally from AIPAC.
If you have the screen up, it's not showing up. It's just us right now.
Oh, hold on, let me look. Oh, it's because I didn't. Man, StreamYard makes you do it twice. There you go.
Yeah, it's been acting weird. Yeah, I knew you were going to pull that up, because I've seen that run around. I mean, my friend Maverick said that he thinks Ed Gallery, and it's like they looked up to some old boomer in the phone book and like, hey, want a house seat?
Yeah, I think
this guy out there.
Yeah,
he
because
looks so generic.
He had no social media presence whatsoever in 2016.
I was saying yesterday, he looks like the kind of guy who, when kids knock on his door for trick-or-treating, he gives them like a couple pennies and tells them to fuck off.
Literally.
Like, we don't have candy. Candy will rot your teeth. Here's some pennies.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Here's your pennies. Now get off my lawn.
You got to pay tax on those pennies, by the way.
I will call the cops if you don't get off my lawn, kids. That's literally Ed Gallery. He's literally the type to call the cops if you don't get off his lawn.
Yeah, that motherfucker looks like he wears his pants too high.
Yeah, he literally does. Man. But that's the thing. It's just like, do you think Thomas Massey is going to have a political career after this? Like, do you think he was able?
Absolutely. I think absolutely, because like you said, he's got 7 months to go. I heard before I came on, he had 7 months to go. He now has nothing left to lose. So he would be best advised to be as aggressive as possible with everything that he wants to do while he still has the congressional power to do so. And then he should pivot to possibly a presidential run. I think that, as he said, and this was sort of, I think, the most noble sort of thing about the loss, if there was anything noble, it's that Massey said, well, if I lost, it's because God wills it. And that means to me that Massey is not, taking this like, oh, it's just all over, I just fade into the sunset. I think that he has, sort of, a way to pivot with this. I think that there's a lot of support. A lot of people are woken up to this. A lot of people do not like the way that, MAGA has acted in this. I mean, look, AIPAC, they try to tell you that you can't blame AIPAC for the loss. And then right after Massey was announced as losing the election, AIPAC did a victory lap, celebrated it on X, and basically admitted, yes, we helped get rid of him. It's kind of like in the movies when the bad guy tells you their plan because they don't think anyone's going to stop them. That's the point where we're at when it comes to Israeli influence in our political system. They're telling us outright, whether it's Netanyahu on 60 Minutes, whether it's AIPAC posting, oh, hey, we got Massey out, whether it's Adelson, they're all being very vocal about the fact that they pretty much own us at this point. The problem with that is it's causing a lot of people to wake up.
Yeah, it's causing a lot of people to wake up, and it's causing a lot of people
what they'll say? They'll say, so you're waking up, so what? What you going to do about it?
Exactly, and that's what they're doing. And it's, I don't know how that's going to affect things. I mean, I know you guys saw earlier today, and all these things are connected. Tulsi Gabbard stepping down as the director of national intelligence, and that is the last person who was against this Iran war situation. That's in that administration. So now we are kind of screwed because right afterwards, like, oh, Trump is looking to ramp up attacks on Iran. So all that stuff is connected, including Massey's loss, I believe. It's all connected.
Look at AIPAC literally bragging about Ed Galling's victory and Clay Fuller's win in Georgia and GA ensures two outspoken pro-Israel voices are positioned to fill seats by previous held outspoken detractors Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Our community was proud to help pro-Israel candidates with these races. They basically just said right here, yes, we got them to win. You Americans don't matter. Only we matter. Only we get to decide. That's basically what they implied in that tweet.
Exactly. And, I've been saying this to people before. Like, if you ever want to see a spoiler alert of what our government is going to do, even though a lot of people, sort of turn up their nose at Facebook, if you go to Facebook's AIPAC page, the official page for them, months before we started the situation in Iran, AIPAC was calling for it. We have to attack Iran. We have to attack Iran. I'm like, shit, they're going to get what they want because they bought all our politicians. And lo and behold, here we are, in this situation entrenched in what's basically a pointless war that's got our gas up to $4 or $5. And the president keeps saying, America has gas. America has gas. All right, then why am I paying $4 at the pump?
Yeah, like, why are you the one paying $4 at the pump? Why are you the one paying for it if prices are good? It's like, no, like some prices have risen up to $7 in some areas, apparently. At least in Chicago, that's what I've heard. But here in my area, it's like $5-6 a gallon here. It's rough because of the war. Like, it's a little rough over here.
Yeah, I have to look at freaking Gas Buddy every time before I go out to work, hoping that I can find whatever the cheapest gas in the area is just to be able to get to and from work. And the problem with that is that I drive so much for a living that most of that money goes right back into the gas tank. So it's becoming harder to pay bills. And, Trump goes on TV and he says, I don't care about the plight of the American people, which is a terrible look. He talks about his 99 approval rate in Israel. Well, why do I care what your approval rating is in Israel? Your approval rating here is in the gutter.
Oh, in fact, I'm gonna since you brought it up, I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip because that's the thing. Because I saw that, it made me so mad. It's like, bro, why you talk about your approval rating in a foreign country?
And it's like, read the room after the Massey thing. Like, that's the worst optic you could have because people have said, yes, Israel had a hand in Massey losing that election, and right after you're talking about your approval rating in fucking Israel.
Yeah, it's fucking like crazy. It's like, why does people even care about your approval rating in Israel?
He has lost his mind.
He has lost his fucking mind. He's lost his shit. It's like, that's the thing. He can't even read the room and he doesn't understand. It's like, bro, you're talking about approval rating in a different country.
Yeah.
Trump unfazed by the 37%. I thought it was 35% last I checked. Approval rating and opposition to Iran war. Claims 99% support in Israel and jokes about running for prime minister.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And the thing about it that kills me is that as he's doing this and as he's sitting there and ignoring the middle class and ignoring our plight, like, again, look, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because the fact that the other side is still going to implement a lot of revenge tour on us, all the stuff that we don't want with the DI and the ESG. So there's no real good political solution right now, all because of the fact that Trump wants to do this bullshit for Israel. He's actually also, and one of the other things that really made me mad this week that we covered earlier in the week, tax exemption for the Trump family. So he's basically passed something with the IRS that he cannot be audited, Don Jr. cannot be audited, Barron cannot be audited. Eric cannot be audited. I assume that Ivanka/Jared Kushner cannot be audited. Basically, even after he leaves office, right? So remember when he talked about abolishing the IRS? He did it, but only for his family. For the rest of us, we all still have to eat shit with the taxes.
And, because he only cares about himself. Like every time, like he says, like he's going to fulfill promises. He only fulfills promises for himself. He never fulfills the promises he's made for us. Like he said he was going to end foreign aid in 2015. He said that he was going to release the Epstein files. In fact, 2024, he ran on releasing the Epstein files and actually giving transparency. But then he goes after the one candidate the one congressman that actually did it, that actually wrote a Transparency Act and forced his hand to sign it. And he basically
went after the one guy who wanted him to be accountable for the promises he made.
Yeah, exactly. He went after the one guy, and there's a lot of dishonest people saying, "Oh, no, it's because Thomas Massey voted for open borders. It's because he voted for this and that. That's why he lost. It has nothing to do with Israel." It's like, no, it has everything to do with Israel. In fact, Thomas Massey doesn't even support open borders. He told us why he voted no against that bill is because he's a libertarian and he doesn't like extra spending. It doesn't matter what bill it is, even if it's something he agrees with. If there's extra spending involved and useless spending that's going to make our debt go even higher, he's going to vote no because that's against his values.
Here's the thing. When you have a guy, right, and everybody who had his back suddenly doesn't anymore, who's the problem? The guy or those people? Now, he has attacked Candace Owens. He's attacked Mick Fuentes. He's attacked Tucker Carlson. He's attacked Alex Jones. He's attacked Thomas Massey. Now he's attacking Lauren Boebert. You've got Loomer attacking Rand Paul, saying that he's next. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. So what exactly is going on? Because I see there's only one common denominator, and it's Trump himself. All of those people were staunchly behind him. It's not like all of a sudden all of them turned on him at once. All right. What happened is he stopped fulfilling his obligations. He stopped fulfilling his promises. And people who supported him are like, hey, what about that thing that you promised? And it's like, no, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And that's it. And he calls that a day. And that's not how it works.
Yeah, he calls it a day. He's just like, that's not how it works. And not only that, but what do all those people that he kicked out of MAGA have in common? Oh, wait, they opposed foreign aid to Israel. Oh, wait, they wanted the Epstein files released.
Exactly.
It's those two things that tick him off. And that's why he's going after them. Because there's a lot of people say, oh, Trump is the reason why the Epstein files are out. It's like, no, Who wrote the Transparency Act? Oh, wait, Thomas Massey. Who is the one that said, if you're still talking about Epstein, I don't want your vote anymore. Oh, wait, it's Trump.
Yep.
Who's the one that said he still likes Bill and Hillary Clinton? The Clintons, the one people that he said he was going to put in jail.
Exactly.
And did you even see it came out too that Hillary Clinton was advising him on the Iran war? Basically, like she was one of the people that was telling him to go to war with Iran.
Oh, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. That's like sleeping with the devil. That is sleeping with the devil, man. That is making a deal with the devil. You went from lock her up to shacking up with her, figuratively.
Yeah, I guess he's third wheel for Bill and Hillary Clinton because at first that's the thing. Him and Bill did have a little thing going on. So
oh boy,
maybe it's
he's the Jewish bull. He's the Jewish bull now.
he's basically Bill's side piece.
Oh boy, that is a mess, man. This whole thing is. I saw today there was a headline that apparently Biden fucked Harris. And I'm like, yo, that explains why Jill hated her guts so damn bad.
Yeah, I literally, because I remember like I had this furniture job and I was talking with one of my coworkers about politics. One of my coworkers was like, Jill Biden always hates Kamala. I think that Joe Biden fucked Kamala and that's why she hates him. It's like maybe my coworker was right after all.
I think so, because I mean, also there was a big talk back when Biden was president that Jill kept trying to look how to switch Kamala out for Pete. Like, so it's like, so basically they're saying you want to get this gay guy in there because you know that Biden won't have sex with him. He won't have sex with a gay dude. He'll have sex with a woman though. And life is just fucking weird. The politics has gotten really odd. But the one thing I see, and the one thing I think that also Massey revealed, this week to everybody, with losing, is that these people aren't on our side. These people are on a different side. They're on the side of Israel. They're on the side of getting involved in this. And that's because they have their back, and that's what I think a lot of it is. People who've already made their money, they've already, done well for themselves. It doesn't bother them because they're still going to be rich afterwards. But to the rest of us that have to be out here, who still have to work an honest living, who have to put gas in our tanks, who have to actually worry about, the price of groceries and everything else, we're the ones eating shit, and they're just like, whatever, we already got our back, so we don't care. And in that way, they are no different than the establishment of the left.
Exactly, and not only that, but a lot of people keep spreading this propaganda that all Democrats are anti-Israel. Not all of them are. In fact, a lot of the main establishment ones, like Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they all serve the same master as Trump. It's not a left versus right thing. It's a patriot versus opposition thing. It's not no left versus right, black versus white, gay versus straight. It's like it's literal patriot versus opposition.
Fetterman got a lot of AIPAC funding, and that was before he started to lean more conservative in his views. When he was just a vegetable running for a Senate seat, they still gave him a lot of money. Why? Because he's Jewish. That's it. He's from Israel. He's got the ties to Israel. He's Democrat. They wanted to run him for president. I don't think we'd be much in a worse state. We already are. But I don't think we'd be in worse. Like it would be no better. And that's why I say vote only America first. Don't just vote Democrat or Republican. Don't vote in the two-party system. Exactly.
Because at that point, you're just voting for the same team. We got to tell the GOP and the radical left that we don't want these rhinos anymore. We don't want these establishment rhinos.
Somebody brought up a very good point to me the other day and said that we also have to pay very close attention to our, whatever's closest to us in local elections. It starts from there and then branches outward. So you have to make sure that you get your local elections in order, and then just sort of work up from there and get these America First candidates built.
That's why I decided to interview Aaron Baker, because he's literally in my district, and it's like
exactly.
I actually want him to win. And in fact, that interview did well, and I was able to send it to a few of my IRLs that actually do vote. And I was like, hey, you got to vote for this guy. And I'm actually getting more people to vote for this guy. And it's like it starts small. It's like I know I have a small platform. I only get like 3 to 10 viewers a stream, but a stream by live watching. Because what's weird? It's like YouTube is so weird with numbers, because it's like I get like 3 to 10 like normal live, and then I end the stream and all of a sudden it jumps up to like 300, and I'm like, whoa, why does it say 300 views? It's like, where did all that extra views come from? That's how you know the view system's broken. Yeah,
a lot of sites run like that too. Like Rumble always shows us less than what we have once we end and everything else. It's like I don't know what metric they use to count, but it's kind of off. There are definitely more people watching and paying attention.
What I saw for Twitch, it has to do with active viewers, so it's probably based on that. So if someone's lurking, they aren't counted for the viewer count.
That's why I wanted it, because a lot of people, including yourself, tell me, "Oh yeah, I'm watching while I'm at work. I'm watching while I'm doing this and that." Like a lot of people don't, because a lot of people in my audience actually do work, so they don't have time like tap in the chat all the time just to make the number go up.
You know what else it is? It's that the machine tries to gaslight you. I believe that if you are an honest person who has something to say, they want you to be like, not enough people are listening to me, so you like give up, because I've noticed that, because some of the most honest people I know, people are listening, but they don't think it because they see like these low numbers when they're streaming or anything else, and then they close out, they got like actually 300, 400, whatever. But I feel like they're doing that to like fucking demoralize you, because I've known people that
it doesn't work on someone like me, because at the end of the day, it's like, when I first started, I kind of was paranoid, but then I got advice from one of my older friends IRL. He's like, don't care about the number, just keep doing the content, and eventually you'll make it. Like, you don't got to care about
that's
the number.
True.
And in fact, it's like, if there are rigging you, it's like, it doesn't matter. The fact that people are listening to your words, that's all that should matters. Numbers don't matter. It matters if people are actually listening. You
got to be unapologetically you, whether it's 1, 10, or 100 people are in the damn chat room.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, that sets us different from a lot of these big people that do it, because a lot of these people that kind of like are train wrecks now, like Quartering and everybody else. Like, think about it. He used to be normal, and then he went insane. And I think it's like almost like his head swelled with seeing that number go up. And some people can't handle that. He's one of those people, and he went fucking full retard. You never go full retard. But
I know exactly, and that's the thing. Have you ever heard of Tipster?
No, I haven't.
Tipster is like a content creator that he actually used to be friends with Quartering a while back. He's one of those creators that he used to be like a centrist, and he used to like cover like gaming news and drama, and he used to be like part of the anti-woke crowd. Guess what he is now? Back then, he used to be an actual guy that's married. Now he's literally a left-wing. Now he's literally like trans. He's literally wearing a wig and everything.
I know people that like I used to hang out with on the internet. Oh my god!
He literally, should I give you a comparison?
Oh boy!
Let me give you a comparison.
Those are the worst ones. Like, I mean, all the transing is bad, but damn, it's like these people trans look like somebody's grandma. Like, what are you doing? Like, what the hell?
He's about the same age as me, which is the scary part.
Oh boy!
I'm 35, so.
Yeah, I don't get it. And there's a lot more of that. And I see that shit. I'm like, what possesses somebody to do that when they're like 30, 40, 50, 60? I've seen
That's
like
actually the safer time to transition if you do it at all, because your body's not growing anymore.
Well, that's true too. But it is weird when it's like an elderly person, because you're like, damn, wait a minute.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's not, but it's definitely safer.
Yeah. Like the dude who was like 65 years old and like transitioned, I'm like, dude, so you just now decided at 65 you're no longer a man? Like, what? Help me figure this out.
Like, figure this out. Like, you've literally been a man for 65 years. You're literally gonna die soon. Like, you might as well just stay your gender.
Yeah, and by the way, they're gonna put your male name on the headstone when they bury you. So why are you doing this? And it's scary, because again, I do feel like we're in a situation where the left could easily regain a lot of power, and that's what they're about. They're about pushing the trans ideology and a lot of this stuff that we don't want. Hakeem Jeffries already said, I want to weaponize the government against people who basically don't agree with us, which goes beyond Trump. And Trump's an old man. Look, whatever happens to him, he's not gonna be on the earth much longer. They're gonna set their sights to all the rest of us. But by not enforcing a mandate that he had to do these things that Massey wanted him to be held accountable to, all he's done is make sure that these people get back in, and when they get back in, they're gonna hit us harder. You already see it in the entertainment space, where like all of these woke games are coming back, all these woke movies are coming back. Because they expect that they're gonna take all these seats of power in government, and then they're going to get all that back, and they're going to get all that financial aid from the government back.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like, this is also why it's like I've kind of was done with Trump, because he said that he wasn't going to do all that, have lobbies influence elections, that the American people would be represented fairly. But then now it's like he's teaming up with lobbies, rigging elections, and stealing elections, and helping AIPAC buy out a seat. Because that's the thing. Because what's weird? Because if you watch the victory speech with Thomas Massey, and you watch the victory speech with Ed Galloway, who had more of a crowd?
Yeah, I saw that. And the thing is, Ed is he's saying a lot of stuff that I don't like already too. Like, he's saying that he wants a mandatory draft. Like, that should be disqualifying right there.
He's literally saying, I want a mandatory drive. I want everyone. He's basically saying, I want everyone to go down. He's basically Lindsey Graham. He's Lindsey Graham of Kentucky. I want everyone to go die for Israel, and I don't care. You should die for Israel. Israel's America. If you don't like it, then you need to get out of here. Fuck you. That's basically Ed Galloway in a nutshell. Now, and then his other thing, too, is I support President Trump no matter what. If you don't support President Trump, then fuck you.
Yeah, but here's the thing that people don't understand is when you support someone blindly, that person leads you off a cliff. And that's my problem with that's my big problem with the Democrats is that they support whoever blindly, and they've gone, so far left that they've gone off the cliff. Now the right is doing the exact same thing, and they're so oblivious to doing it. Like, if Trump does something that I don't like, I'm going to say he did something that I don't like. It doesn't mean that suddenly I'm a fucking Democrat. I just said, I don't like what he did. This is why I don't like what. No, all of a sudden you're on their side. No, I just don't like what he did. I don't think it's a good move. You have to have people willing to disagree with you, or you can't be a good leader. A good leader takes the criticism and says, okay, maybe we should try it this way, or maybe we should try it this way, or maybe you have a point. No, I'm always right no matter what. That's not how it works.
In fact, he literally said that he wouldn't be like that. He criticized Jeb Bush for that. He criticized the people he was running against like that. Because I remember I was watching Trump as a young kid, and I actually liked him. And I used to debate people in middle school over that, because that's the thing. I actually liked Trump's policies, and I liked how, and my parents liked Trump because they liked how he looked out for small businesses, and that's why it's like, I like Trump, man, because he ran out. He was the only one against the establishment. He was the only one putting America first, and now it's like he's just like Marco. In fact, he literally made Marco Rubio Secretary of State. It's like, bro, you literally used to call him a puppet of Mato Abelson. Now you're the puppet. You're literally another puppet, just like Marco. And he's literally said that he's going to make Marco the face of the Republican Party.
And I've noticed that JD has sort of like said some things very similar. Today Tulsi said she's leaving because her husband has like an aggressive bone cancer. My co-host John already says I'm not really buying it. I think that's just sort of the he probably is sick, but it's probably not not what's the real reason. But JD Vance is saying I'm not going to run because my wife is having a baby or whatever the hell he's saying, right? Like, how weird it is for your vice president not to run right after you. That tells me that there's a lot more turmoil behind the scenes. He's trying to make Marco Rubio the face. Well, Marco Rubio was a neocon in 2016. He's a neocon now. He was an amnesty guy in 2016. I don't think much has changed. And also the phone party is going to come back into play, because that was a controversy in 2016 that they were saying that Marco Rubio might be a closet homosexual that attends, fabulous phone parties in Florida, which are known to be, frequented by the gay community.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I mean, let's be real. Trump got elected, and it came out that he sucked off Bill Clinton.
That's true. Maybe that's why he's been humbled, man, because that the energy of Trump has changed. Like that 2016 vibe is gone, and that first presidency did really well until COVID. Like, financially, like things were looking up for us. Things were getting better. Trump too looks exactly like Biden term one. Like there's almost no change. And it's funny because the same people were complaining about gas prices under Biden, and they're like, what? You don't want to pay extra gas prices for that's what you pay for security.
That's literally what the left said. That's literally what the left said back then, because of like, oh, we got to pay for gas because of the Ukraine war. It's like you're literally making left-wing arguments.
Yeah. And the thing is, every time that this government has ever talked about security for its people, it means the limitation of our rights. COVID was about security. They locked everybody down. So, what? Are you saying that in that way we should be locked down again? Because in a way we are kind of locked down, because it's harder to get across town. Because you got to pay these exuberant gas prices, and you find yourself sometimes wanting to go somewhere or take care of someone or hang out with maybe friends or something. They're like, no, I'll just stay home because I don't want to waste the gas, because gas is for almost $5. It's absurd. And, I'm not going to make an excuse just because our guy is in office. It doesn't work that way. It's bad no matter who's in office. And that's what I think we've lost in the political space is people are unwilling to criticize what's bad if their guy is the one holding the torch, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like here's my way of looking at it. If Thomas Massey wins the presidency in 2028 and he breaks his promises, I would have the same criticisms of him that I have of Trump.
Absolutely. And
I went behind Trump and he broke the promises that I cared about, and that's why I started criticizing him. And if Thomas Massey, Fishback, or any of the people that I've interviewed or backed over the years do the same thing, then I'm going to call them out too.
Absolutely, it's about consistency, and I find that people like me, people like you, people like the people that we associate with in a lot of spaces have become like an endangered species because of the fact that we remain consistent. Regardless of who's in office, regardless of what they're doing, if something is a bad idea, we'll call out the bad idea. We're not saying, oh, well, I'm going to give it a pass because it's such and such person. That's not how that works. You have to retain your honesty and your integrity. Just because they threw their integrity out the window doesn't mean we have to throw ours out the window.
Yeah, and we shouldn't throw our integrity out the window for what? For money? It's like, isn't it what we criticize them for doing, and yet we're doing the same thing in the MAGA movement?
Exactly. And that's my big problem. It's like you cannot sit there and criticize Soros buying off judges, DAs, and politicians, and then say it's all right when Miriam Adelson puts money into politicians, DAs, judges. A lot of people are also just skirting by the fact that she gave Tallarico money in Texas. Funny, he's a Democrat and he's part of a very heavy left-wing agenda. Why did you give Tallarico money? I thought you were on our side, right? It doesn't mean shit to these people. They're just buying pawns for their game of chess,
Exactly. That's what they're doing. So buying pawns for the game of chess, and that's all they're doing. In fact, the old 2016 MAGA was against that. They was against people buying seats. They wanted transparency. In fact, 2020, when the election was rigged by Biden and the Democrats, we said that, hey, you don't rig and buy people's seats. You don't do that. The American people pick. And then they do the same thing. They use propaganda. In fact, remember, too, they had a false sex scandal story come out 24 hours before the election against Thomas Massey.
I saw that.
It's all just nothing burger text, just like, bro, you've basically done everything in your power to unseat this guy over 2 disagreements over Israel and Epstein. It's like, come on, bro.
You did everything the left did to Trump, because that's just like the E. Jean Carroll shit. That's just like all that other weird shit that, the left was saying about the pissing on hookers that was never proven and all that. It's like, wait a minute. So now you're doing that to Massey with this woman, right? Like, how's that different from when that weird lady came out and accused Brett Kavanaugh? Remember that was the whole thing? They wheeled that lady out and she's just like, oh, he hit on me, so he tried to fuck me or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is this the bottom of the barrel that we're scraping?
And something that a lot of people are not talking about this whole thing is the Democrats ended up joining Trump on this one because Thomas Massey and the Democrats had a fallout over him voting no against people spying in your cars because the Democrats and a few Republicans, including Randy Fine, all voted on a bill that basically allows for the government to spy in your car, and Thomas Massey voted against it, and a lot of Democrats were attacking Massey over it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want to call Massey a Democrat, but it's like he literally had a fallout with the Democrats as well. He's basically putting himself in jeopardy, being attacked by both sides over different issues because he's trying to basically follow the Constitution as much as possible, and then yet he just gets unseated for it. Really?
Exactly.
That's why it's not a left versus right issue, because he's literally fighting against Republicans and Democrats, and they're actually, even though Republicans and Democrats hate each other, they've shooken hands and joined together on this one thing. Do you really think Trump even Trump even cares if Ed Galloway wins the general election? He probably doesn't. He probably just only cared about Massey losing. In fact, if the Democrat wins, Trump's not going to even be that mad. He'd be like, yeah. At least it's not Massey, though.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because Melissa Strange, look, I looked at her and she does, I'm not trying to say, anything. I bet you she's got her wheels greased by AIPAC, too. Melissa Strange that's running against Galrain in the general election. In fact, she looks like that one trans congressman that's already there. Like, I thought it was him. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he already, he's already got a seat. I'm like, oh wait, that's a biological woman who just looks like him. So I mean, look, something's up there. Like, and by the way, here's the funny thing: if Galrain loses, somehow Trump and all of the new MAGA will pivot and blame Massey for Galrain losing to her. Like they will not take accountability for it.
And I'm literally gonna laugh at them and be like, no, it's not. You literally, Massey would have literally won and unified the Kentucky to win. Yet you guys lost to Democrats. Like, that's the thing. It's your fuck up because you chose a guy that barely can even talk.
Yeah, and we're seeing them do this.
He's literally right-wing Joe Biden. He's literally no different than Daniel Webster. Hey, fight. Trump, can I be done?
We're seeing them do this all across the country, too. Look at Ohio. Look at Vivek. All right, you could add Casey Bush. You put Vivek in. Who the fuck is going to vote for Vivek? Like, he's already ruined every bit of goodwill that he had with the way that he talked about Americans and his pro-H-1B stance and everything. Do you know how bad it looks if you lose the vice president's home state because you wanted to force Vivek on everybody? You had an America First candidate. You wanted Vivek instead.
I think I know why Vance picked on Vivek. It's because him and Vivek are basically like college friends. He met him in college, and he thinks that he owes Vivek a favor because he sees Vivek. It's like, it's not because I bet he probably doesn't even agree with a lot of Vivek's policies. It's like, I'm just gonna ignore all the bad stuff you're doing. I don't care. I'm just gonna let Ohio eat shit just so I give you a favor. Fuck my whole state.
It's his wife too, because remember, he married into with an Indian woman, and they Indian people tend to be very staunch behind each other. You see what I'm saying?
No, I heard a rumor, which this is just a rumor, and I think it may be bullshit, but you may correct me if it isn't or isn't, because it's just a rumor I heard. I heard that JD Vance's wife is somehow related to Vivek. Is that true?
I've never heard that. I do know that his son's name is Vivek. One of his sons' names is Vivek.
I know that, and that is weird itself. It's like one of his sons is. That's how you know JD Vance is hella biased. It's not to do with policies; it's because he's biased because he and Vivek are both owned by Teal because they literally met and joined Teal's network together.
Exactly, and that's a problem because again, I want America First candidates. I want people in there who are worried about what happens at home. You have to put out the fires in your home country before you mess with anything anywhere else. And frankly, you shouldn't mess with anything anywhere else because that's their problem to figure out. Israel and Iran, look, these countries, all those people have been fighting for thousands of years before we were here. And after we're gone, they're going to still be fighting. What's the sense of getting involved in their war? And, I agree with the take that I heard you mention a few months back is if Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, Israel should not have a nuclear weapon. Because if you want Iran not to have a nuclear weapon, you have to take away the incentive for them to get one. The incentive for them to get one is, well, our neighbor who's an asshole has one, and it's always pointed at us. So disarm them both. Disarm everybody there.
Yeah, disarm everyone there. That way they can't cause chaos and destruction. And that way other countries in Europe won't have to deal with all these refugees because that's the thing. Because it's the bigger picture. It's like, that's the thing. They're causing chaos in the whole globe because these two nations want to fight each other. Exactly.
Because if we do anything over there, it's going to be, well, look at all these people who are displaced. They need somewhere to stay. Well, where do you think they're going to stay? They're not going to stay over in their country. They're going to come over here, and they're going to hate, us because they have an axe to grind against the West because we destabilize their region, and they end up radicalized. They end up killing people. And the cycle continues. It's like that kid who just got stabbed over in England, And
in fact, it's like, that's the thing. A lot of people don't talk about this too, but it's kind of both sides doing it because have you heard of this terrorist attack in San Diego against like an Islam center?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
A security guard got killed, which rest in peace, because he tried to protect children because these white supremacist dipshits were trying to kill innocent children.
Exactly. Yeah, I had heard read of some of the manifesto. That dude was out there, like he was just completely gone. He was saying he was doing this for like North Korea and shit like that. I'm like, oh, this dude's whacked out his gourd.
Not only that, but there's a few creators like Sneeko actually questioned it because it's like
Yeah.
there are other manifestos that the FBI withholds due to like research purposes and to like not spreading false information. But because this guy's talking about, oh, I'm doing it for North Korea, and it's like, really? You're doing it for North Korea? What? Like, you are a white supremacist doing it for an Asian. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it
really doesn't make sense. That's why I believe it's like a Fed slop thing that these people were paid to do it, and that these and they're gonna disappear like Epstein somehow, because it's just so weird. Because it's like, and that's the thing. And I'm not trying to say like, Muslim migrants are not a problem, because that's the thing. They do go to. I covered the British Revolution. They do go and do destruction over there, but it's like. It doesn't mean you go kill innocent children in a center. Like, come on, two wrongs don't make a right, and that's why I'm calling. Like, a lot of people say like I'm flip flopping and stuff when I call out both wrongs. It's like, no, I'm actually being consistent because I'm calling out wrongs on all sides. Because I'm on my own team. I'm on Team Triton. I'm not on Iran, Israel. I'm on Team Triton. I'm on America first. And being America first to me is calling out wrongs of all sides, because you got to put America first. You can't take sides with these stupid foreign nations that are both anti-American.
Exactly. And I've said that before too. I said, just because I criticize Israel does not mean I'm on Iran's side. Just because I criticize the Muslims doesn't mean I'm on Israel's side. I say screw them both. Screw them both. You know, there's a problem that we have as a society now, and it's this black or white way of thinking that if you're not drinking Coke, you're drinking Pepsi kind of thing. And it's ridiculous. Like, there are more options. Things are more nuanced than that. People should be able to have, you know, deeper conversations in that. But the minute you disagree with someone, they automatically assume that you're on whatever the polar opposite side of that argument is, instead of listening to the nuance of the situation. And I think that the right has become just as dangerous as the left with that, where you've got situations like, you know, you just mentioned Sneeko is a great example. You know, Laura Loomer the other day just said that she wanted all of Kick destroyed because Sneeko happens to be on the platform. Like, that Kick should have its Amazon Web Services taken down. So basically what the left did to Parler should be done to Kick.
Exactly. And it's like, no, that doesn't work. That shouldn't work like that. Like, you shouldn't just take down a streaming platform just because you have someone on there that you don't like. It's like, Laura Loomer, you're literally more radical than Sneeko. You're more harsh. You literally wish death on innocent people. Sneeko doesn't even do that. He just criticizes Israel. That's the thing. Sneeko has his own problems. I know a lot of people like, you know, call him a low count stuff. But I actually agree with a lot of his political takes on the Israel stuff, because guess what? It's true that even though, like, that's the thing. We all need unity at the end of the day. And that's the thing. There are only two Muslim countries that actually do. Like, let's think. I'm always America first, and America is definitely better than those countries, so I'm living here. But there's two Muslim countries I actually do like, and it's Jordan and Turkey. You want to know why? Because they let Muslims and Christians coexist with one another, and they don't play into the division. In fact, Jordan kicked out a bunch of radical Iranians and Hamas people because they were going around bothering the Christians. It's like, whoa, you're not going to come over here and bother these Christians. You get the fuck out of here. And Turkey's done the same thing. That's why a lot of the other Muslim countries hate Turkey, because both of them do the same thing. And I know the Turkish president is corrupted as fuck, but the regime itself, they actually do hold the promise on protecting basically people that have owned the land. They're not like Israel telling people to get the fuck out. In fact, when the Ottomans went and took over, they're like, hey, we're taking over. Do you guys want to coexist? And the Christians like, yeah, let's coexist with one another. And they've been shelled thousands and thousands. And that's how we know it's like we can literally unify Jews, Muslims, and all religions, and even atheists. We can literally unify as a human race, but they choose not to. Because they want division. These Zionists want division because they want control. They don't want to be fair. They don't want everyone to win. They only want them to win.
Exactly. And that's what that's the whole thing. You know, by dividing everybody, they stand to win more for themselves personally. It's all about personal gain. And these are bad people. Yeah.
Why do you think Turkey and Jordan have been stable for all these years, but all these other Muslim countries not? Because guess what? They don't play into that division. They actually keep the promises, and they tell and they actually tell both, not just one side. They tell both radical sides no. They tell Israel, hey, you're not going to come here and scare our Christians out. And they tell Hamas and these terrorists, these Muslim terrorist group on the opposite side, same thing. Hey, you're not going to come here and scare our people out. You both can get the fuck out of here. This is our land, and we're going to let these people that have been here for thousands of years stay. And that's why I like. That's why I'm actually comfortable. Like if I were to go to like a Muslim country and visit just to see what the culture's like, I'd be safer in like a place like Jordan and Turkey because I know I'm not going to have my head cut off over it.
Exactly. It's
not going to be like Nigeria or Iran or Israel or these other countries.
And the funny thing about it is I'm of this point of like Israel would just not attack, their neighbors all the damn time, because that's the other thing is we heard at the beginning of this is that Israel struck first. And we got involved, so we're going to be on the hook for it anyway. Well, why are we on the hook for it at all? Like if they struck first, they should have to clean up their mess.
Hey, Robbie.
And so that's the big problem with that. If you strike, it's like when I was growing up. Like if I was in a playground and I punch a kid in the face and he beat the crap out of me, I had that coming because I struck first. See what I'm saying? No one felt sorry for me. The same thing with Israel. They struck Iran first. We're supposed to get involved. We should have told them no. In a perfect world, we tell them no. You're on your own and you handle it yourself. They're on 3% economic surplus. Their entire population is militarized because they have compulsory service. Why should we have to get involved at all? Supposedly they have the Iron Dome and all this shit. Why are we even getting involved? That's their problem.
Exactly. That is the problem. That's the thing. It's like a lot of people say like, oh, when you don't want foreign intervention in Israel, that you support Iran and the other people. It's like, no, we don't support them either. In fact, I wouldn't want. In fact, I criticized Obama back in the day for doing that nuclear deal with Iran because I don't think Iran should have nukes. But I don't think Israel should have nukes either. And I think you kind of have to blame Lyndon Johnson and all these other people that allowed it to happen. They literally let Israel steal our technology and did nothing about it.
Exactly.
They just Israel just did it without permission. And instead of holding them accountable, like, oh, you took it? Okay. Thank you. Okay, nothing happened. Anyways, we're doing this. It's like, bro, come on.
I mean, when it's to the point where even some of our troops that go over there don't want to go because they're worried they're going to get USS Liberty'd, then that should be a red flag that we shouldn't be in bed with these people.
In fact, I've heard a lot of stories from military veterans that a few of my people have talked to, and they've actually said that Israeli soldiers are purposely like during the Iraq War, like when they were in the Middle East, that Israeli soldiers are purposely aimed for U.S. soldiers. And when they told George W. Bush about it, he did nothing about it. In fact, he said, I don't care.
Wow, that doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me because you hear that when people actually visit Israel and they're Christian, they get spit on and all sorts of stuff like that. They don't treat our people well. They don't have any respect for our people. They treat us in a very derogatory fashion. And then we're supposed to kiss their ass, and that's my big problem. Is I when I hear the term greatest ally, when I hear a term ally, I assume that someone is helping me when I help them as well. They've never helped us. They don't help us with anything. They take from us. They don't give back. They don't give back at all.
They don't give back at all, and I feel like that's a big, huge problem. It's like that's the thing. It's like after this, so it's like I may comment here now and then, but I'm actually going to not even cover politics until someone actually steps up, until the dark horse steps up, because it's like I'm not just going to keep repeating my points that the old boomers want to basically not listen, because that's the thing. These old boomers need to go away. Once they go away and we get a lot of dark horses winning, once we're winning, then I'm like, you know what? I'll come back. But until then, it's like I feel like we're just punching the air because it's like these old boomers are holding us up. Which I'm still going to strategize behind the scenes and all that, but it's like I'm just like during the summer, I'm probably just going to go cover the gaming news stuff like how Digny does. Because in fact, we covered the whole Kyle Owens situation, which that whole situation is a
can of worms.
Stuff. Yeah, a whole can of worms. In fact, I'm definitely going to keep covering that for sure. In fact, you think Kyle Owens would try to sue me?
Oh my God, that'd be fucking hilarious. I'm gonna represent myself in the lawsuit and be like, sue me for what? Here, have a stick of gum. Go. Like, what do you want? Like, damn.
I'll actually get a lawyer. So it's like, if you really think you just sue me, it's like, bro, even though I don't have enough money, I'll find one of these lawyers that accommodate the disabled people, give them discounts.
There you go.
Because they have they have programs like that where if like
they do.
Where if someone's getting wrongfully sued and they're disabled, that I can just have a lawyer, and they're really good too. Because like
exactly. So it's like I mean, a thing I look at it is this, like if there's something like that's newsworthy, it's worth covering. But I'm like done with like the political stuff, like in terms of taking any kind of side, because I realize that both sides are basically the same, and I don't think I don't think I really took sides much to begin with, but even more now, I realize that a lot of the people on the right do not have our best interests at heart. They would rather just, walk all over each other and step on each other just to be like the top dog. You know what I mean? They have no real morals. They have no real values. They don't care about us, the working class, middle class, and obviously the left doesn't either, And I think more people are going to have to wake up for it. I think you're right that the boomers are also holding us back, because when you try to tell them this, they're like, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Yeah. The dollar has lost 70% of its value from when you were my age. So I don't think pulling yourself up by the bootstraps is the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we definitely got to do something about it. And we would try to do something about it. Keep losing elections, because that's the thing. All these billionaires don't want us to do something about it. And guess who's helping the billionaires by voting for the billionaire candidate and establishment candidates? Because this is the thing. Money shouldn't buy votes, and a lot of these people are just falling for the rich people, like the old boomers. The old boomers are just listening to Trump, and even some of their grandkids and stuff. They all listen to them, and like, you know what? I'm going to vote for my grandparents. It's like, no, pick your own side. Take your own side. If you're America first and you're against the establishment, take your own side. Like a lot of these people don't take their own side, and that's the problem. And when it's two lesser evils, they don't just stay home and withhold the votes. Like, withhold your vote if it's two lesser evils. Show that we need a dark horse, and then vote for the dark horse.
Yeah, exactly. Digny was saying, or it wasn't Digny, it was Ryan who was saying the other day that the biggest political party in America is actually the people who don't vote. Because there's so many of us who don't vote that we actually outweigh the people who do vote. So
like let's say all of us that don't vote because of the two-party system found like an outsider, and we all just voted. That's how Trump won in 2016. A lot of non-voters ended up voting for their first time ever.
Yeah.
People that haven't voted in 30 years ended up voting in that election. Even 2024 too. A lot of people joined that cycle too.
Yeah, exactly. I think what happens is people just lose sort of faith in the system. And when the system has no faith, the system will have no authority. And that's what I think is going to eventually happen. They keep going the way that they're going. Eventually, government itself will be illegitimized by the fact that the people have decided that we're not buying what they're selling. And I think that if people start feeling like neither side has their best interests at heart, then this government isn't going to last. This government will collapse.
And then we can bring in a dark horse that will bring in something new that represents the people. And that's why I support Thomas Massey when he says end the Fed, because a lot of people get confused, like, oh, you want to just end the government and let people be free? It's like, no, end the Fed, end the establishment, and put in something new that's for the people.
Exactly. And originally it seemed like Trump was going to end the Fed and put us back on the gold standard. He did neither of those things. Instead, he elected a new Fed chair. That's another island boy. He put another island boy in charge of the Fed. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And then he also has Kash Patel as the FBI director. It's like, come on.
Oh yeah. Kash is hilarious. He's compromised by the fact that his girlfriend is a Jewish honeypot. I mean, that's a whole can of worms, man.
In fact, did you hear all the rumors about Kash Patel being fired, yet he's still not fired?
Yeah, I have heard that. I feel like he's on vacation, because what does he even fucking do? And I haven't gone after a lot of things that he was supposed to go after. I haven't seen any arrests for all the fraud and everything else that we've been seeing. I've heard a couple fraudsters got hit in Somalia, but that's really a drop in the bucket compared to what needs to happen. I mean, we're talking about fraud on a scale that's all over the nation, and then you're just now going to want like 5 people in Minnesota. Like, our fraud is all over the country.
Yeah, fraud's all over the country. In fact, the There's actually a good double standard point I could actually point out too. It's like, they didn't go after. In fact, Nick Shirley got basically got into the White House and was able to pose with everybody, and they are celebrating him and doing and helping actually go after fraud in Minnesota, right? But then when Tyler Olvera does the same thing, goes after Jewish fraud in New Jersey, guess what? All of a sudden he's being investigated. It's like, where are the priorities?
Yeah, and it just goes to show you, it's like, it's not about the fraud, it's about who commits the fraud. Because what happens is that, if fraud is fraud, then everyone who commits it, regardless of whether they're white, black, Jewish, Muslim, whatever country they're from, should be on the hook for that. That's not what's happening. They're saying nothing to see here. Turn a blind eye to this. It's not how it works.
Nothing to see here. Turn a blind. It's like, we're not stupid. We're not going to turn to an obvious blind eye. Like, come on. Like, we're not stupid. We're not dumb. We're not retarded. They think we're retarded. They think we're just going to vote with the program. It's like, no, we actually want a dark horse that's going to fulfill our promises. Why are we voting if we're not getting what we want?
It's just like the sewer Jew thing in New York a couple of years ago. They accused people who were making jokes about it being anti-Semitic. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter who comes out of that sewer. If it had been like an Asian guy or a black guy or a white guy or a Chinese guy or whatever, Indian guy, people have made jokes about him. But because it's a Jewish guy, we're supposed to be like, oh, no, you can't, meme on that.
You can't meme on that. You can't talk about that.
Yeah.
And if you do talk about that, then you're anti-Semitic. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. We like I said, we're living in times where the world is just getting crazier and crazier. And I think a lot of times, I think the worst thing we have right now is we do have a polymarket presidency. Don Jr. is on the board of both Polymarket and Kalshi. So he's just making bank. It's funny because I thought insider trading was bad. Wouldn't being on Polymarket still be a form of insider trading at the end of the day?
Yep.
And here we are, and we're all eating shit while they're eating caviar. Not that I want caviar. Caviar has always sounded disgusting to me, but whatever. It's sad.
Exactly. It's just so and then double standards too that these people give is just so stupid.
Oh boy.
It's all about if you have.
Here's Lindsey Graham.
Oh,
I believe the liberation of the wonderful people of Cuba from the clutches of communism is close at hand. Oh boy, here we go again.
What do you mean? Didn't we already cut the water supply at that point?
Yeah, I'm guessing that we're gonna go do an operation on them too. I don't know what this administration is doing.
Which I'm gonna be real with Cuba. It's like it is, even though it's like I disagree with it because like you're not even getting congressional approval and it's not even seem like it's a fair decision. You're just basically turning it to American empire. But however, it's like it does benefit us because Russia and China don't have control over it. But at the same time, it's what's even the point? It's better. It's better than going to war with Iran because Cuba has no weapons, no resources, no anything. So it's we could do a regime change in Cuba and be successful without any bloodshed.
Yeah.
It's basically another Venezuela situation where no one has to. But in Iran's there's already 13 Americans reported, and there's so many. I bet you there's more deaths that they didn't even disclose.
Oh, absolutely, there are. I mean. With Cuba, the one difference is it is in our backyard, and we do have a lot of Cubans that sort of fled the communism over there. So that's one thing. But I mean, also on the same token, just, after the whole Venezuela situation, the Iran situation, I think people are just tired of seeing, oh, we're going to do another military operation. I think people would also be more forgiving if they were prospering more right now in our economy. So again, it just states, it goes back to Trump saying, I don't think about Americans' economic problems at all. Yeah,
and it's you should because that's the one thing people vote on because we're literally $40 trillion in debt and regime changing within Venezuela and Cuba. It's even though there's no deaths, no war, it still costs money because we have to put in money to stabilize the regime because we're the ones doing it. We're the ones running stuff. So we have to spend money on that. We have
Exactly.
to fund all the businesses we put over there. We have to fund all the stuff we do. We have to basically spend time and resources and spend a lot of money to basically change the culture over there and basically push out all the communistic out. Like it takes money to do that. It takes money to put that stuff in. It's like these people don't understand. It's like, you know, it's still foreign intervention we shouldn't be doing. And that's why, like, when the Venezuela thing first happened, I disagreed with it. And I had a few people say, oh, it's actually good for our country. Though it's like, no, not really, because because our economy's not even good. We need a regime change in America first, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need, you know, and again, America, you know, where the ground we're standing on is unstable. And we can't go, you know, stabilize everyone else in the world if the ground we're standing on isn't stable. And that's the problem. You know, it hasn't been stable for a long time. It hasn't been stable for, you know, 20 plus years, you know, more than that, you know? So it's like, you know, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, like,
I don't think it's been stable since the 60s and 70s, quite frankly.
Exactly. And it's like we're $40 trillion in debt, and yet we want to keep on being more in debt by spending all this money on foreign wars and stuff. It's like we got to pay that back eventually. We're just going to end up crashing the economy.
Exactly. And my thing is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the American dream is being stolen from us, you know, a little more every single day. You know, it used to be on with one job, you would make enough money, 40 hours a week to, you know, have all your bills paid, your car paid, put groceries in your refrigerator, you know, and basically also sustain your wife and your children, which the average was like 2 children. Now you can work 3 jobs and not have that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And meanwhile, if you come here from like one of these destabilized shitholes that we keep destabilizing, by the way, as you mentioned, they'll give you a free house, a free car, free phone, a SNAP card with about like $1,000 worth of groceries a month, and let you have as many kids as you want. You never have to pay the hospital back for those kids. You have like 8 of them shits and have them running around. You know. So who got the American dream? It feels like we got the American bill. They got the American dream. And that's the problem. Until we change that, we're not on a good path. And
I'm probably going to get a little off topic, but kind of relates to this a little bit. Did you see the Fox News propaganda? Retired Robert Hardware, the former commander of U.S. Central Command. Apparently, it looked like he's wearing some kind of
mask. Yeah, that rubber fucking face shit.
Do you think that's like actual rubber face, or do you think it's like just some like old fucking cramp on his neck that makes it look like it?
You know, I've looked at like sort of pictures. People have like compared the way his neck looked before and the way his neck looked now, and it is fucking weird. It's like it doesn't look like a real face. It looks like some Mrs. Doubtfire shit. But I mean, it's hard to tell, man. It's really hard to tell. You know, I've got people saying that motherfucker's a lizard. I've got people, you know, saying, oh, there's somebody back there. You know, and even John, who did a little bit of forensic analysis because he used to work production, you know, for like news companies. He even said that it looked really suspect to him. He's like, I don't think they could AI that. He's like, something's up with that. Something's weird about that.
This is actually for Fox News. It's definitely not AI. That's the thing. It does look like there's human skin under it, so it definitely is like, unless it's like some random like humanoid alien somehow, but it's like. It definitely does have like you know, white skin. So it's definitely I'm thinking realistically that it could just be some CIA agent that they did something to him that because you know he pissed him off, or that he couldn't be there for the interview. Because that's he could still be alive. Like maybe people looking too deep. Maybe he just, you know, couldn't be at the interview and they needed him to be there to spread propaganda. So they sent some CIA guy to be there, but you never know. Like normally though, when they do it, it means the guy probably fucking died. So if there's a repeated pattern, then the guy's probably fucking dead.
I'm wondering if you'll ever see him on TV again after this. You know, because if they can't get away with it, they won't put him back out on TV. You know, because now people are gonna be scrutinizing it. I don't know. His shit looks fake to me.
Not like that, but it does even look like there's a mouth there when he talks. Isn't that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. Are you pulling up on screen? Because I think you got to hit the button twice again.
Oh yeah. Oh, StreamYard. It normally doesn't do that.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the clip because it's only 32 seconds.
Yeah.
The president has time on his hands. He controls the narrative. He controls the strike.
Look how look how it's moving. That's why people want to say it's conspiratorial, but look how the fuck it's moving. It's literally moving weird.
Yeah, that is not normal, man. That is not normal. That does look like a rubber mask or something on him.
And he knows.
And in fact, there's also another clip too of him on 60 minutes, and I'm gonna play that and show how it's different, how the rubber's not there.
His actual neck is different,
and his head too.
That the policy he set with the blockade has had short-term and long-term effects on the regime and the people of Iran. So he's been very astute in leveraging that time. And so I don't see
it's weird the way he's not moving. Like he's not very animated. You know, like when people talk, they're a little more animated than that. He's like completely trying to stay still, but it's like that neck is moving the whole time.
Yeah, imagine it's like a lot of people say it's Pete Heck. Like a lot of people made a joke guess saying it's Pete Hegseth.
It's our boy Jeffrey Epstein. He's hiding among us, man.
He's back. Imagine it is imagine it does come out like in like 10, 20 years that this was Jeffrey Epstein.
Wearing a fucking disguise. Oh my God.
It really is capitulation. The president's made it very clear. You
imagine it's Palm Beach Pete.
Will not have
Palm Beach Pete.
You're Palm Beach Pete. It's like, no, I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm not buying it.
I'm not Robert. I'm not Palm Beach Pete.
I'm Guy Incognito.
So I'm gonna pull up the other clip so we can. Robert. But this is just all fucking weird. Like I don't even mean to go conspiratorial because I have a few people say you're going conspiratorial, but it's like, how are we wrong? Like this is fucking sus. Like how is this not sus? Can someone explain?
Exactly. Like it just looks weird to me. And nobody has a plausible explanation that I've found so far.
Okay, this is actually. Okay, I found the comparison where we even need a clip. We just have a good comparison to it here. I'm gonna show you. Let me go ahead. This is just so fucking weird. Look at him. Look how he actually has a neck. He actually has like a head. His head's like an actual.
His skin tone is different.
His skin tone is different. He looks like it literally looks like a fucking alien in this one. In this one, he looks like an actual person. There's no rubber. He actually has facial hair a little bit, as you can see.
Yeah.
No facial hair on this whatsoever.
Yeah, that's just fucking weird, man.
It's fucking
but also, like, his neckline is completely different. His neckline is completely different.
Facial hair. Look, there's a lip right here. He actually has lips. Where's the lip?
Yeah. That's true. Holy shit.
Like,
I need to get going.
All right, you take care, Jim. You have a good rest of your night.
All right, see ya.
Take it easy, man.
But yeah, this shit's just fucking weird.
This looks like one of those spot the differences games where you like circle the fucking differences.
I know, and it's like, bro, the differences are just so strange. Like that looks like an actual. Even the ears look different too. The ears look like wax.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And that actually looks like an actual ear. Like it's just so weird. And I know people be like, "You guys are acting crazy." Jason Triton are just going back on the conspiratorial way. It's like, how is this a conspiracy? This is in front of our face.
Yeah, if you have eyes, you could see like something's up with his freaking neck.
I haven't seen Nick Fuentes Goipers like say that the Goyaba being insane about this. Like, how are we being insane? We're looking at what's in front of us on Fox News. This is not no AI shit. This is not no conspiracy. This is literally him wearing a rubber mask and it's talking. He's literally talking and the rubber's coming off. When he talks, the rubber doesn't come off of here. So it's like, how is this a conspiracy? Like these people are just stupid. These people are just weird. And that's how you know it's like you can't trust anything from any side in the field at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing and no one. You can't
The
trust
world
these
is a
people.
stage.
The
The
world,
world is a stage, brother.
The world is a stage, brother. Like literally.
But yeah, man, I got to get taking care of some things over here at the house too. It was good talking with you for a little bit, brother.
Good talking to you too.
I had a good hour talking about it, and I feel better because I know that at least, you know, when I talk to you, I know that like I'm not the only one that feels like, damn, just let down. We're all sort of feeling a little let down about, you know, sort of the way things went this week. But I also know that, you know, as long as we keep speaking the truth, I think everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta keep doing what we do. Otherwise it's all for nothing. You know what I mean?
We just got to keep doing what we do, talk with each other, and if there is a disagreement, address it like adults and actually like get people to realize, hey, look, we may not agree all the time, but we can still unify on important issues.
Absolutely. And I didn't realize it was your birthday, so happy birthday.
Yeah, appreciate it. My official birthday is Sunday, but I'm going ahead and doing the birthday bash stream now, so it's like, yeah, appreciate it though.
Yeah, you and Galaxy Red have the same birthday actually.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's on Sunday and he's celebrating his on Monday.
Damn, I'm celebrating mine today.
There you go, man. Have a happy birthday, and it was good talking to you guys.
Yeah,
take it easy, Triton. Take it easy, Torin.
Yeah.